wonder why.
Whoopee, we all gonna die. Well, I hope not. You know, I really hope that we can combat all this. Nobody really has to go by the way of the dirt nap. I'm not down with that. You know, I was talking to my landlord today. Today was big rent day. I always love signing over that big check or handing over that stack of cash. Oh, God. Anyway, and he's talking to me, and he's like, so what are you up to? And I was telling him about my new film, and he had watched, I gave him Fabled Enemies, Loose Change Final Cut, The Obama Deception, kind of blew him away, as it does most people who are kind of stuck in that left-right paradigm. He kind of still is. Seems like a really nice guy. His kid is enlisting into the military, the whole nine. And I started telling him just some of the details of this new film. And boy, he was just turning blue in the face. He's like, aren't you afraid of getting killed? And I'm like, well, man, just know if you ever come over and I'm hanging around, I didn't do it. I'm not planning on killing myself. And, you know, get at my family so they can take care of the dogs and let people know that I wasn't one to commit suicide or be depressed. That's right. Let me go on record. You're never going to find me David Carradine style. I promise you that. And if they do, you know, it'll probably be with like 2 dead Malaysian boys next to me and like a 3-legged horse and a goat with no horns. Who knows what kind of ridiculousness they'll find next to my body, but just know it ain't true, folks. Please. No, it ain't true. Say it ain't so. It ain't Jason Bermas. All right, where was I on the other side of the break? Pentagon approves creation of Cyber Command. Now, I think Cyber Command is going to be outside. It'll probably be regulated by the Cybersecurity Center, or what is it? I forget what they're calling it, but it's basically yet another one of these government oversight agencies where they're going to have a cybersecurity czar. The Pentagon will create a Cyber Command to oversee the U.S. military efforts to protect its computer networks and operations in cyberspace, under an order signed by Defense Secretary Robert Gates. Yes, Mr. Iran-Contra himself. That's right, Robert Gates, also part of the continuity of government black ops programs to deal with drugs in this country. Not a secret, on the public record. On the public record. You know, I talked to Ray McGovern about Robert Gates when he was first being appointed. If you want to go check out the Fabled Enemies, we got the whole unedited interview with Mr. McGovern right in there. I'm sure it's also on the web. Don't take my word for it. Why don't you talk about, you know, the 26-year CIA veteran? Actually, when McGovern was on the program, I believe it was the Alex Jones show while I was sitting in, someone called in about the Bohemian Grove, and they were kind of irked at Ray McGovern for not talking about this aspect and saying, oh, he's still CIA, he's disinfo. And he just said, look, man, you know, I'm one of those guys that was an analyst in the CIA. I wasn't in the upper echelons of power. I worked with those who did. You know, I don't know, you know, what goes on at the Bohemian Grove, but I can tell you that Robert Gates went there. So Robert Gates, yet another member of the old Boho Club. That's right. In fact, we're 3 weeks away from the greatest male party on earth, according to Woodrow Wilson, and the GD'd most effiest thing that Richard Nixon's ever been a part of. That's right. So let's see. The new headquarters, likely to be based in Fort Meade, Maryland, outside Washington, D.C., will be responsible for defending U.S. military systems, but not other U.S. government or private networks. Pentagon spokesman Brian Whitman said. So this looks like it is the Skynet force, by the way, or something similar. And I'm going to get into drones later, too, because, you know, almost every day now, we're seeing yet another drone attack killing a multitude of people. And we're not talking about it. And we're not talking about the moral implications of it. We're not going to be talking about it till it's too late, till it's going on in this country, till you and yours are victims of drone attacks. And this is what they're doing. They're softening up the world populace. I mean, they talk about an invisible enemy. You don't see these drones. You don't know there's a missile coming. You don't even know that there's a military surveillance taking place in the vicinity at the time. A U.S. drone killed at least 45 Pakistani Taliban militants on Tuesday. Yeah, right. You mean, oh, we killed 45 Taliban Pakistani militants. By the way, other news agencies are reporting as high as 60 people on Tuesday when it struck after a funeral of an insurgent commander killed earlier in the day. Pakistani intelligence officials said. You know what that sounds a lot like? It sounds a lot like that Eagle Eye movie, and that's how it starts. They're supposedly all going to a funeral, and they blow up all these innocent people, and then, you know, they were supposed to be Al-Qaeda militants. They weren't. And the supercomputer that they put in charge starts this coup d'etat against its own government. It's actually a pretty interesting movie, and I think it was produced by Spielberg, but totally goes through the Big Brother state and really talks about drones. I mean, that doesn't talk about them, shows them. All right, let's take some more callers. Let's go to Mike in Illinois. Mike, you're on the line.
Hi, Jason. Real quick.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I heard Alex say twice recently that 80% of all males are sterile, either in the world or in America here, and I couldn't find any references to that at all on the internet.
He said 80% of males in this country are sterile at this point? I don't think he said that. Man, okay, I gotta let you go. I gotta let you go just because that's the second time you beeped in with your keypad. I don't know if your chin's got some man hair on your beard and you can't stop doing it. I don't think I've ever heard Alex Jones say that 80% of guys are sterile in the world. I think that you must be misconstruing that from a certain population that he's talking about specifically. I'll talk to him about it. I'll see where you might have got that reference, and maybe we can talk about it tomorrow, Mike. Let's go to Israel in New Jersey. Israel, you're on the line.
Yes, Jason?
Yes, sir.
Yes, Jason. Alex, a couple of years back, had a gentleman that was talking about the Comprehensive Financial Annual Report.
The CAFR's Comprehensive Annual Financial Reports, or CAFRs. These are the real books. This is where the cream goes. This is where you find out how much the state is actually making when they're having their toll booths and their pay roads. And, of course, prosecuting people. They see how much it actually makes, and then the majority of that money is given to corporate welfare for private industry within the state to invest in, just given away to all these companies carte blanche, and then they give you a certain basically budget, which is a lie based on a different number, and most people think that budget is all the money. They've really hidden a lot of the money in the CAFR reports after Alex started exposing it in the late 90s, but the example I always like to make was, in 99, according to the CAFR, Manhattan alone had, and this is in 99, had a $1.3 trillion surplus. It's amazing. Go ahead. Yes.
Okay, yes. My question is, that gentleman got in trouble with pertaining to his child. Where's he now? I'm just curious.
I'm not quite sure, but I'm sure that if you go and check out Comprehensive Annual Financial Reports Exposed on Google Video, that gentleman is a part of that video. Find out his name, Google it, Google something within the last 6 months, do an advanced search, and it should give you all the information that you need. All right, sir?
All right, thanks a lot, Jason.
All right, you got it. Let's go to Eric in Pennsylvania. Eric, you're on the line. Yes.
Well, actually, Jason, any county in America, if you just type in your county and then type in CAFR, you'll get a comprehensive annual financial report from your county.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah. Just type in anyone.
Have you been keeping up on them? I mean, do you?
Well, I've been tracking my county, and it's incredible. And I'll give you a little tip to all you people out there that actually do this. It'll say numbered in thousands. And all that means is whatever the number they give you is, you just type in 3 extra zeros, and that's how you figure out what the number is. So if it's 139,000, you put an extra 3 zeros. It's actually 139 million.
Wow. So, they openly, they try to trick people, but they are open about the fact that they are making a lot more money than what you see in the budget, eh?
It'll say numbered in thousands. That's what it says.
Okay.
But going to what my call is here, we were talking about the generation coming in America, and I actually have a 7-year-old and a 3-year-old. They're 2 boys, and I just spent a really intimate few days with my 2 boys, and I will say that I would definitely consider them greater stakes in my life than probably the New World Order considers their whole New World Order in their life. I mean, I love my 2 kids that have never been vaccinated. They've only eaten organic food. They know how to defend themselves. They're extremely intelligent. And I just love my 2 kids, man. And you know what? All you people out there, man, we're fighting for the future of this world. And
Eric, let me say this. It sounds like you're having victories on a daily basis, and those are the personal victories I like to talk about. Just you spending time with your children, and being a father and taking every day for what it's worth, still celebrating the freedoms we have, traveling throughout the country. Who knows what you did, whether you took them to the park, maybe played catch with them, watched a movie, even sat down and played video games. Spending time with your children every day and, really taking part in your family and doing the right thing. There's another victory against the New World Order, in my opinion, because you're training the next generation to actually give a damn about humanity.
Absolutely. Let's talk about a real victory with us, though, man. You were talking about that kid that you saw last year at the 9/11 rally in New York City.
Mm-hmm.
You said Peter
Baker's guy.
Baker's guy.
Yeah, Baker's guy.
Yeah, the FEMA guy. Now, this kid is putting out all these videos saying that you have no proof and this FEMA thing doesn't exist. Go through it, Jason.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, again, and I thank you for the call, Eric. Just to wrap it up on people, this guy, is sitting there grilling me for like 25 minutes. I'm owning him on every single point. In the middle of it, I take a phone call from one of my friends because I'm going to have lunch with him. I see the guy, I went to high school with the guy. I see him maybe once or twice a year at a wedding. I take that opportunity, and he plays the part where he think he's got me, where I make the statement that it was published that a head of FEMA had recorded temperatures of 2,700 degrees.